Hello Flosstube fam, it's the Dace Man. My name is Dace, my pronouns are he, they, and I am back again with another whip pile the size of my head for you lot. This is the June update where I'm going to show off everything that I worked on in the month of June, except for EVs. I showed EVs last time. I'm rotating my videos around to the start of the month, and therefore we've already seen EVs. I'm working on it again now. You will see it in the next update. But other than that, everything I've worked on this month, all the progress. I did a lot of stitching this month, so strap in and let's go to the top-down view and start looking at this pile, I guess. Let me just move everything to the side real quick. We'll top down it. Spoilers. Alright, we are here. Right, so the first thing that I worked on this month as part of my monthly rotation, all the spoilers, okay, everything just got pulled out when I moved that, so that's fun. We have got a Meeting of Tangled Paths. The artwork is by Puiman Law. It was a free chart for a very short time on the Facebook page, and I nabbed it, started stitching it. I feel good about it. I've been doing 1.25% every month on this piece, which is approximately 4,300-ish stitches, and this month all of that went into this page. I finished this bird. He's looking pretty great. I did a whole bunch of background because that's what most of this piece is background. It's beaver grey, it's green, it's beige, but we've actually finally got a full subject in, so I'm really happy about that. This bird is looking pretty fine. We've got another bird coming up next month, so I'm really looking forward to that amongst all of the beaver grey. So I did move this on from 21.25% to 22.5%, and so next month 23.75. That will be what we see next month. We'll be finishing off this page and then, like I said, moving on to this bird over here and seeing what we managed to get done. But for now, looking pretty sweet. I'm not going to show the whole thing, not taking out the Q snap, you know how I do. But that is a Meeting of Tangled Paths, and yeah, happy with progress on that because I met my goal. The next thing that I worked on is essentially what I'm replacing Home Sweet Home with. I'm sure you might have remembered last time I finished Home Sweet Home. I have then since framed it and I've given it to the recipient. So it was received really gratefully. They seemed really happy with it. It's gone. I never have to look at it again. They promised me that. I said put it in the office or something just in case I have to come in for a meeting or something. So Home Sweet Home, gone, out of the way, sorted. We're replacing that now with Raven God. It's another Puiman Law. And my goal on this is to do 4% every month, which is approximately just over 4,000 stitches. I am tent stitching this, but I do not enjoy the tent stitch. I don't love working on this because of the tent stitch. I'm not about to restart it though, because I'm so far in, and I'm quite happy to push through it. This piece is for my very good friend Sketch, who has released another Flosstube video. Lots of really cool crafting over there. I'm actually going to link him below because he is an incredible crafter and I really want more people to check out what he's been up to. So this month I moved this piece on from 24.04% to 28.04%. I did exactly 4% on it. Honestly, I stitched a little bit everywhere as well. I did a little bit up here, I did a lot down here. I started working on, there's a little bit of tree just here, and next month when I pull it out, it's a case of just getting that 4% in. I don't really mind where I stitch, it'll be whatever I feel like doing. I do like to fill in a bit of confetti, do a bit of background, do a bit of confetti, do a bit of background, so I'm not leaving loads and loads of like holes behind. I'm sure a lot of the full coverage stitchers get that. So as long as I get my 4% on this, I'm going to be quite happy, and yeah, That was our first month on it. Be prepared to see this grow and grow and grow over the next year and a half or so, because that is getting trundled along until it's finished. Bam. Right, what's next? Well, that was all of the like monthly high goal full coverage stitching. Next would be our Whip Go Wednesday pieces. So Whip Go Wednesday pieces get 2 streams each. Each number that gets called gets 2 streams, and each of my projects has 2 numbers. And I don't know what those numbers were, but this month it was Frosted Pumpkin Cottage and it was Atlantis. So this is my Frosted Pumpkin Cottage. It's a Witchy Stitcher pattern. I worked on this, like I said, for 2 Wednesdays, 2 streams. We got it from... where is it? We got it from 12.57% to 30.62%. So made good progress on that percentage-wise. The fabric this is on was dyed by River Hut Designs. It's an even weave, so it does dye a little bit paler on an even weave than the linen. But it's got a real nice like parchment-y witchy background that I think works really well for kind of Halloween stitching, spooky stitching. I'm gonna get a lot of this fabric next year. I think it's just a really nice, it's mottled but it's also a little neutral, and I really like working up this Witchy Stitcher on it. It's working really well in my opinion. And we of course have my little Agnes Little Minder pumpkin on here. He's cute. But yeah, that is the progress on our first Whip Go Wednesday project. I did most of this here, this tree, the little owl, and yeah, I don't know when this will come out again. Honestly, it only had 1 number this year. This was my odd number. There are 25 squares to fill and this was the odd one, so I don't know when we'll see it again, but it's quite small, so if I ever really need a finish I'll bash some of this out, I guess. Oh, there's also the little ghost. He's very cute. Little ghost. Lovely. Right, so that is, like I said, our first Whip Go project. The second Whip Go project I actually worked on yesterday. It's Atlantis by Owl Forest Embroidery. This is all kit, fabrics, threads, etc. And I have previously completed the first 2 panels, and this month I got a little way into the 3rd panel. So this month I finished this octopus motif. There's a little Quaker face, which is kind of odd. I quite like it, but it is a bit odd. We've got a little seahorse I did, 1 little starfish, and I got a little bit of this swirly whirly stuff done. So that was just 2 Whip Go Wednesday streams. This octopus was quite beefy, and because I'm on the 3rd panel, I've whipped out the 3rd needle minder from the kit to match. But overall, Atlantis is looking pretty fine. I'm in no rush to finish this piece. Like, I enjoy working on it, but I don't have a whole lot of Owl Forest kits, and I'm probably not going to get any more, so I just try to enjoy these as they come up and not rush to finish any of them, even though, you know, we're getting kind of close. I don't have any stats for this because it's a paper pattern, but I think I did approximately 1,000 stitches over the 2 sessions, and like I said, just enjoyed them. It's a low pressure stitching event, is Whip Go Wednesday. We just make a little progress, and whatever we get in, we're happy with. I have cut some of this fabric off because I stitched a chonker bow, and I wanted a blue fabric, and the kit for this comes with enough fabric that you can stitch each individual piece with a 3-inch border, so there's a bit of extra fabric on the end, so I just chopped that off and used it for a chonker bow a little while back. Don't worry about it. We've got our full coverage Friday projects now. So for full coverage Friday, I only have 2 projects this month. Obviously the first week was in the last video, and I worked on Raven God for one of the full coverage Fridays, so I've only got 2, but Pod came back out. It was the makeup after my hand injury, I needed to do a makeup stream on Pod, and I think it was this one. So I did a little bit of extra work on our good friend Pod. It's funny because Pod didn't get like any time last year apart from my full coverage February, and this year it seems to be coming out every month. I don't know, but what we got done this time is a little bit of Pod, a little bit of background up here. So I advanced this from 44.04% to 45.43%, so I added, you know, just under 1.5% or so. It's not the biggest piece of full coverage in the world, like I said, so one session adds quite a good chunk to it. I'm very happy with his progress. He's very cute. We all love Pod. Still don't know what he's seen. Bless him. Oh, I do love this piece. I'd like to think I'm going to power through and finish him in the next year or two, because, like I say, it's not very big. And I could do with the win. So many full coverage projects to do. I need to finish some off. Yeah, that was Pod. That was our Poddy progress from Full Coverage Friday. The next one is a little bit of a fan favourite. A lot of people like this one, and I can kind of understand why. But I have to break your hearts and tell you all that this is getting finished in a few weeks' time. So this is the penultimate time you're going to see this on the go. Can we not overexpose my octopus? The sun has decided to overexpose my octopus. Don't worry about it. So if you ignore the overexposure a little bit, you can kind of see that what I worked on was a whole bunch of the octopus head and a bit of the water down here. We've just got this corner to go, so I worked on this 6% every time I worked on it for the last 3 or 4 streams or so, and last week I got it from 88% to 94%, so just 6% to go, just this corner, and then Mini Octo will be finished. This is the Mini Colossal Octopus by Unconventional X-Stitch. I have got more patterns from them since, and I do want to start one. Saying that, my Twitch subscribers and my Ko-fi members have a special role and channel in the Discord server, and they will be voting on my next full coverage start once I finish this. So if you are a sub or a Ko-fi member, keep an eye out for that poll. It will be coming soon, and maybe we'll replace it with another unconventional. We'll see what happens. But for now, this is my overexposed octopus. I'm going to just turn the light down because the sun is sunning. And yeah. Oh, he looks good. I do like this. Yeah. Okay, what else have we got? Alright, so it was Junedog, wasn't it? I'm going to update the regular long dog that we have. Another fan favourite. Our tiny long dog. So for the month of Junedog, I reduced the channel point redemption on this piece from 300 to 150 channel points to give people a cheaper go at it over on Twitch, and every time that was redeemed I do 30 stitches. And this month we got this piece from 51.5 to 54.22%. So this is Sanssouci by Long Dog Samplers. I think what I did most of this month, I did this little dog in the negative space. I've been working in big long rows, so I've kind of covered a lot of ground, but not a lot's happening. But I also finished this flower over here. I did some backstitch that's going on around here. So, you know, overall we added a couple of percents to it. Did some backstitch. So this one's on 56 count. It's stitched over one in a fine sewing thread. It's going really well. It's just so zigzaggy. And a sweet viewer of mine, Pink Lemonade, I'm gonna link their channel below. They released their first Flosstube as well, and the cat here, it's named Lemonade because Lemonade basically redeemed most of it. So we've got Lemonade the cat. The wolf is all backstitched in. Overall, progress fine, progress steady, happy with that. I have permanently reduced the channel point cost to 250 points instead of 300 in honour of Junedog all year round. So hopefully we'll be seeing this getting stitched up to 90 stitches per stream, almost every stream when I have it available. We'll see what happens with that next time. Alright, Junedog special. We did 3 Junedog projects. So my first Junedog project was my main one, the one that I chose to do quite a lot of work on. It's Game of Swans. This is on an 18 count Ada. It's got a little bit of sparkle to it. Oh, the overexposure. Oh, it's alright. It's a bit better down here. So I did a heck of a lot on this. So I'm going to move it down. So this month I got this piece from, what, 30%? 30.9% to 65.79%. I more than doubled what was already on here. We did all of this down here, all of this. I moved up to the top and I did the central column, working from this butterfly down to these flowers to this pancaked swan. I love this guy. What is he doing? Oh man. Stitched in this dragonfly. I did grab an extra swan because I was streaming this and I was like, we need to stitch a swan on Game of Swans. So we moved over. There's a huge error in this swan, but I fudged it and it's already asymmetrical to this swan in the chart. So being a little bit wrong, it's not really hurting it. I'm quite happy with it. We moved on to this flower pot motif here with the 2 little dogs, my initials. This flower is in a really nice deep red colour. I think that stands out really nice. The flower pot has a really cool pattern going on it. Stitching down into some more flowers. Little rabbit, butterfly. And then I came back up to the top for a final little patch of stitching up here before it was time to move on. So yeah, I made real nice progress on this piece. I'm really happy with it. It's probably not going to come out again for a little while now. I don't know if I really want to look at it much more. Oh, it fits in frame sideways. There you go. You can kind of see the whole thing, sort of. Not bad, huh? I feel like I made good effort on that. I was stitching on that a lot. And overall, like I said, good progress. Don't want to see it again for a while. What I do have, however, is I've pulled all the colours so you can see the palette, because this colour palette is quite stunning. I am stitching it in the gentle art conversion that comes with the chart. And oh my goodness, look at these colours. Look at those colours. How good are they? There's like that really deep red colour. I think that's hollyberry. And you've got like the variegated purple, there's green in there. There's greys, pinks, there's golds, green. It's a really nice colour palette. I really like the, we've also got the nutmeg. I really like the nutmeg. So yeah, that is the Game of Swans. And like I said, hopefully we won't have to see that one for a little while. Our next Junedog project was the new normal. So I took this with me, the sun's gone away. Oh, it was bound to happen. I took this with me to my mum's house when I was looking after the dog. We have a lurcher, he's a long dog, so I like to stitch my long dog with him. So this month I moved from 16.46% to 26.56%. I added a whole 10% to this. I started at the bottom. I added these pyramids with the little Illuminati eye. And then I moved back up to the top and I stitched this whole horse bubble. Got a bit of got a bit of the repeats on that one because I've stitched this before. I had a pattern keeper issue and I had to restart it, and I did stitch this bubble, or most of it, to begin with. So I was a bit like, stitched this before. But I got through it, moved through it, made good progress. I'm stitching this on a 46 count linen dyed by Coffee Craft Fabrics. I'm stitching it in Fragile Ego from Night Stalker's Calling. I then moved on and did this little bit of the motif here with a stag. There's actually some back stitch in there that makes little eyelets. It's kind of cool. And then I had a little bit of time left over waiting for Mummy to come home from holiday, so I started on this motif down here. That is my new normal progress. I'm quite happy with it because I thought I was only going to have like 3 days on it. I had more like 5. So I got to do quite a bit, but I didn't have my Lowry stand. I was very much stitching this like in the hoop on Mum's sofa, getting very distracted by the dog. So overall I'm pretty happy with the way that came along. I wasn't expecting to make much progress on it. Happy days. Get that little... There we go. Okay, what have we got next? Okay, the other fan favourite. I've heard a few people mention this actually, and I really appreciate all the kind words, I really do. I've got Infatuation. I brought it back out. It hasn't had any work on it for a good while because I've been working on other things, but I'm happy to bring this back out. Whacking in a thread also of beads every day where I can. I've also got a good 300 beads in on one sitting where I was just like, let's do some infatuation, let's make some, put some damage into it, so to speak. And I grabbed this motif here, and I also grabbed this motif here up to where I've stopped. Next time I work on this, I'll keep working this motif in, and then I'll work on the like octagons. So one by one, we'll just keep working left, right, top, down. Overall, some good start of a progress there, and that was. I just had to get it back out to on a Junedog. I really enjoy Junedog. I have stitched Junedog for 3 years now. I like to get really involved in it. So there's another nod to the legacy of Long Dog. I'm going to have this out far more often now. We're going to see this work up. Look at those beads. So shiny. A lot of people ask me a lot of questions on this. I don't have all the answers. They're Delica beads. I don't know what number they are. I've got a matte orange, a pearlescent peach, and a silver lined orange. And that's what I'm doing. I'm stitching it with Nymo. I'm really happy with my, decisions on materials. It's on a mushroom even weave 28 count. The beads fit real nice. Yeah, I don't need any help with this one. This one's fine. I'm quite happy with it just the way it is. And I can't really provide much more information than that, I'm sorry. But there we go. Shiny, shiny. Infatuation. That's one of the peccadillos. So this one's only got 10,000 stitches. It's not that big. Perfect for a beaded project. If you want to try a beaded project and you want to do something that is beefy, that I think I heard one person describe it as a showstopper, a peccadillo might be the way forward. They're really nice, small-ish, but still quite eye-catching projects. They're big enough that they're exciting, but they're not so big you're going to be stitching on it for 20 years, getting nowhere. So, beaded projects, get a modern folk embroidery medallion or something, I highly recommend beading a cross stitch. It's really fun and you have a great time doing it, and the finished result is shiny. You can't want much more than that, in my opinion. So there we go. Get you a beaded long dog, get you a beaded cross stitch. You will not regret it. You will have a good time. I think that is all of the actual whips, to be honest. I did all those things, and that's the whips. Didn't have any finishes. I'm trying to think what I want to show first. Tell you what, last video I forgot to put in a finish feature, so I think I'm gonna do 2 finish features this video, and I'm gonna do my finishes to honor Junedog and to honor Pride Month. I'm an LGBTQIA plus youth worker. I work with queer youth in my local area. I love what I do. I love Pride. I love all the festivities, the colours, the flags. I love seeing everybody be their authentic self, and I didn't do any Pride stitching. No Pride crafting this month, so what I have is a couple of finish features, just one of those things, I guess. So my first finish feature is, and please forgive the frame, this is not its final frame, this is not its final frame job. I need to reorder a frame that it actually fits in, so just for the ease of showing you it, I am going to show you it in the frame, but it is not the FFO. But here we have the Modern Folk embroidery. Oh, Move Forward in Love. That's the one, yes. Move Forward in Love. So I dyed myself, I think it's a 35 count linen, and I dyed it in By Pride colours, so it's pink, purple and blue. And then I stitched the whole thing in a toile, and I converted some areas to represent a few more of the flags that we see associated with Pride Month. I have lesbian flag, MLM flag, we've got ace flags, non-binary flags, little intersex flags in the center of these flowers. And then I also stitched in, so this was 2023? 2022? What year was this? It was the it was when it was released, but I stitched it on the year where the Pride theme for the year was love, unity and protest, so that's why I've backstitched in love, unity and protest into the octagon in the center. And yeah, it is in a toile, it is incredibly sparkly in real life. I think the other edit I made was I stitched the leaves in, I want to say 3799 instead of a green. But yeah, Modern Folk embroidery, Jacob, incredible. Oh, pan flag. Absolutely love stitching this piece. I love what it represents, and as soon as I get a frame that it fits in a little better, I'm gonna lace it up a bit nicer around the back. It is so difficult to frame anything that's got big straight lines along the edge. If you've tried to frame anything with lines along the edge, you know. I'm trying, man. It just didn't fit the frame. So next time I'll do a better job. I got it into the frame, realised it didn't fit, and then didn't tidy it up. So yeah, that is our Modern Folk embroidery Pride. It was a stitch along, I believe, at the time. Move Forward in Love, with all the different flags. Not every flag I could think of, but a couple of the more well-known ones, so that more people can see themselves represented in this piece. Yeah, I really love this piece. I want to say thank you to Jacob for charting it, because it was it felt really good to stitch, that's all I'm saying. I had a good time stitching it, and I was really proud of it. Lovely. So, in honour of Junedog, I'm going to show my biggest finish in terms of size. So, we might have to switch to the other view, and it might be inverted, because this piece is massive. This is a piece I worked on for a real long time. It's an eyesore. It's harsh on the eyes. It's very bold and bright, but we'll talk about all that. I have here Pandemic by Long Dog. So when I first got really into stitching a few years ago, Like, I've been stitching since I was about 8 or 9 years old, but I got really into stitching a few years ago, and that's where this all took off. And this was like the first huge piece that I really worked on, and I worked on it a lot, and I pumped it out relatively quickly because I was working on it so often. I was putting like 2 skeins of thread into it every month. I was going hard on this. And I did stitch this up over about maybe a year and a half. I don't really remember. But I stitched this up in a Jodery Designs thread. Unfortunately, Jodery Designs closed their business earlier on in the year. And I stitched it on a Chromatic Alchemy fabric. I think it's Eye of Newt. It's an even weave, so again, dye's a little bit more pale, but essentially it's got a green sort of base with a big yellow circle in the middle. So I chose these colours because the piece is called Pandemic, and I really wanted to sort of symbolise pandemic-y things in it by going with like the red colour. Red is very blood, it's medical, it's maybe not nice in that context, but like the pandemic was a bloody affair, so not literally, but it gave medical to me. And the green is to signify like the toxic, the germs, the grime, the just, yeah, toxicity, I suppose. So I went with that as a colour combination to theme it, and there we go, finished it in 2022, look. It's an 18 count even weave. It's a really strange fabric. Don't really recommend, but you know, that's what I did. And I was so pleased with the result because my lord. Let's switch over. Unfortunately, this camera will be inverted, but you'll get the gist. This thing is big. I cannot get it in frame. Like it's that big. Ugh. In the frame? In the frame a little bit. No? You get the point. You see it. It's a big long dog. What was I supposed to do? So that is my finish feature this month. I really wanted to show off an extra project because I totally forgot last time. My bad. I don't know if I have like a favourite part of this. I do like these grapes, berries, whatever they are, going on up here. I made a huge mistake in this, and I had to like copy the mistake over here. I remember that being a whole thing. Quite like this little motif here. Cannot stand chevrons. Long dog chevrons are not the one, in my opinion. Don't care for them, but we got through them. A lot of people really like, they don't moan about the page, but this is like an infamous page of, it's quite dense, there's a lot going on, but I really liked this. I enjoy stitching areas that are really dense. I really like where pictures are in the negative space. This motif over here is obviously wonderful. A lot of people have a lot of fun with colour in this motif here. And yeah, that was a project for a good long while. People may remember it if you were in my Twitch streams a few years back. I stitched on this a lot. So that is my finish feature this month. I'll have to think about what I want to show off next time, because I think that is my biggest finish in terms of physical size, the most impressive. I'm not topping that, so hope you enjoyed seeing my pandemic. I have a couple of, I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you something that I purchased. This isn't stash, this is an acquisition that just speaks to my interests. I've bought my very first antique sampler, and she is stunning. She's big. Wait, look at that. I saw her in an antique shop that's near my house, and I've been thinking about it ever since. I just knew I was going to end up buying her for myself one day. I have not looked into it. I don't have any information on it yet. All I can tell you is what's on the sampler. Harriet Hopkins, her work finished in the year 1832. I believe completely that this is an 1832 sampler. It has got some questionable moments, and I do want to look into some things about it. But overall, I just love how this looks. I think the density of it is great. There's an eyelet alphabet, 4-way backstitch alphabet. There's a lot of damage to the linen, but it's a really old sampler. that happens. And yeah, I've made a point of finally buying my first antique sampler, and I absolutely love it. This bird motif, I really like that. I want to take it out of the frame, give it a little, not the actual sampler, but I want to clean up, like there's some like bugs and stuff in there, so I want to clean out the frame a bit, have a little look at it, see if I can see the back of it, things like that. Have a little look into the history, see if I can find out who Harriet Hopkins was, etc. But man, what a beast. I love that sampler. I'm so glad that it's mine, and I can't wait to find out some more about it. The only other things I have to show you today are my lace projects. I only have 2, but I I made another one of the Galicia bee dragons. I might be able to put oh, hiccups. Bit of paper behind it so you can see it a little better. So I made another Galicia bee dragon. I used like 3 or 4 different colours of sulky to work up the sort of purple body, and then I used black sulky 30 to make the inner bit. I stiffened this one. It came out a little better, but I'm still having issues with stiffening. I think I'm going to try a different method altogether next time. Not going to go into all that, but yeah, I think we can still improve these dragons. I still need to sort out the ends and stuff, don't worry about that. But that is a lace dragon. I've made this for my friend Crow Stitcher, because they requested one, having saved up quite a lot of channel points over on Twitch. You can have one too if you hang out on Twitch long enough, like if you want, just saying. Another one of my friends redeemed a bookmark over there as well. And I made them a nice Galicia bee bookmark. I think I really like Galicia bee patterns. They're spiders, but they're done in a different way, and I think they look a bit like candle flames, or maybe even little Star Trek logos. I really like this motif, and I'd like to do it again. I used some sulky threads for this. I think I used 3 different sulky threads to make this bookmark. Quite happy with how it turned out. But that is the lace for this time, and that concludes everything for the month. I do have some plans for the next month. Whip Go Wednesday has pulled up, and Thomas, and Houses of Horcrux Hollow. Full Coverage Friday this month will consist of, what did I spin yesterday? Owl faces. And then we're going to go into this month's community stitch along, which is BWAQ. You heard. You don't know what BWAQ is? Okay, it's Big Whips and Quickies. So this month is actually my turn to host the community stitch along, and we're going to be working on our biggest whips, we're going to be working on our smallest whips, or whatever the interpretation of Big Whips and Quickies is to you. So that's what we're going to be doing over on Twitch and in the Discord. You can join in, come hang out on Twitch. We'll talk about BWAQ as much as you like. So Full Coverage Friday is going to include a little bit of Garden of Earthly Delights. It's going to include a bit of Raven God, and I don't have a quickie yet. I'm still deciding on a quickie. But Full Coverage Friday, we've got Owl Faces, Garden of Earthly Delights for BWAQ, Raven God, and Mini Octo finish. So we'll be seeing that finish next time. Alright, I think that's about it. I still didn't work on my outro. I still don't have an ending. So I'm just going to say, happy stitching. Thank you for being here. Do the YouTubey things, and I will see you next time.